Hello, class. I hope you had a wonderful fall break. I did. I spent the week in Maine. It was awesome. It was a lot of driving to and from. I really wish we could have flown, but COVID, you can never be too safe. So we drove there. It was a good time. Lots of hiking, lots of water activities, lots more food than I probably should have eaten, but it was a really good time. So I hope you guys had a fantastic break too. Even if you didn't go anywhere, just get some rest or caught up on work or just whatever. I hope that you had a very good week. So we are back at it. We only have 2 more weeks before finals, which is just insane. So this week we're actually going to fly through chapters 11 and 12. We'll do a little mini test, I guess, next week. We're also going to be doing our mock trial this week, or looking at our mock trial. And we'll be doing those in class on Monday and Tuesday. So we have a lot to do in just a little bit of time, but we're going to make our last 2.5 weeks together as fun as possible. So hopefully it'll be fun for all of us. But today, let's go ahead and get into looking at remedies for contracts. So, what is a remedy? It's a good question, guys. It's a good question. So, remedy by legal means is a right is enforced, right? So the contract is enforced. If it's a right violation, we look at preventing it or redressing it. Um, breach is an issue of fact in a trial, right? So there are two breaches we look at. There's major and minor breaches, and both of these are judgments are rendered by a court. So something that you go to court, get it heard in front of a judge or a jury. So we have a few different remedies here, all right? So for minor breaches, the only remedy is money, right? So the injured party in a minor breach must still perform the duties, right? So if you're suing, you still have to complete whatever minor duty is left undone. For example, if you pay someone to remodel your bathroom and the work wasn't finished, all right, you're still going to have to get that work done in order to sue this person, the contractor that didn't finish the work. So you'll sue by looking at and taking the kind of the cost of maybe a second plumber or electrician that finished the work and asking for that money back from the original contractor. Um, if you paid the contractor already, then the money must be paid back to you. So if you're the injured party, it will be paid back to you. If you had not paid, the money will just be deducted from the amount that's due. All right. So you're still going to have to pay the original contractor for the work done, but not all of it. And then we'll look at remedies for major breaches. All right. So there are three different solutions for major breaches, right? First and foremost, if you're the injured party, you do not need to perform the duty, right? So that's a little different than the minor breach. The first remedy is just rescission. All right. So that's cancel and restitution, which is recover. So basically, you're canceling the contract and recovering whatever payment you did that was done before the contract. Um, Specific performance is a court order to perform a promise act, right? So if you are a musician who is supposed to sing in an event and you say that you don't want to anymore, you want to break the contract, be basically the court saying, nope, you signed it, you have to go perform. For a specific performance, it has to be kind of a unique situation. An injunction may be issued. The only way it wouldn't be would be looking at the clean hands doctrine. And this is when a party is being sued for injuries when they're not really responsible for the damages. So, an example of this would be like someone's trying to sue you for something you really didn't do, and they're spreading like lies about you, right? They're saying false things about you. So if they do that and you really are blameless in the situation, right? This is lies that they're saying about you, then the clean hands doctrine would apply, and then you wouldn't be responsible for the breach. The third one and most common is monetary damages. So, courts are technically prohibited by the Constitution to interfere with freedom to contract, but they can enforce remedies, right? Um, so, this is money may be a form of consequences that the courts give out. There's a few different kinds. There's compensatory, which is just restoring the injured party to pre contract. Consequential is placed in financial position if the contract had to be performed. Punitive, which is not technically a remedy for contracts, but courts may award it if there's fraud or an intentional tort that occurs. Liquidated is something that's kind of popular, so it's agreed to a certain amount if there's a breach. So an example would be, yeah, a lot of you guys have bank accounts, so if you overdraft your bank account, right, there's overdraft fees. That would be a form of a liquidated remedy. These must be reasonable, right? So if it's excessive, it's not going to be enforced. The last one is nominal. So nominal is if there's no harm, courts can award a token amount. And nominal is kind of a popular one in these. All right, before we get too much farther, I will give you guys an extra credit opportunity today. So I just spent the week in Maine. Maine is known for their lobsters. All right, I had a couple of lobster rolls while I was there. They're very good. Um, so if you put lobster or lobsters plural, either one, down on your 11-2 reteach assignment, I will give you an extra point. So I know it's not a ton, but it definitely adds up. Um, could, if you're on the fringe, especially push you over one way or another. So lobsters is today's extra credit term. All right, we're looking at the duty to mitigate. All right, so an injured party must make a reasonable steps to reduce damage. So you indeed have the duty to mitigate. So an example would be, say you're out running and you get assaulted. All right, and there's severe damage done to your leg. You're hurt. You can barely move it. It's your job to go and get that taken care of, right? So if you know that your leg is hurt bad and you don't get it taken care of, say a few weeks later, you have even more pain and you lose your leg. All right, you will not be able to sue your assaulter for damages due to that amputation because you didn't get it taken care of in the first place, right? So it's your duty to mitigate once the damage is done, right? And you can look at that as like if you own a house, like say a plumber came and they didn't fix it right and actually made water leak even worse, right? So you know that it's worse if you don't go and get that fixed right away, and you end up upstairs and it ends up damaging your roof or damaging your ceiling. You can't really sue for that because you didn't get it mitigated. You didn't mitigate. You didn't get it taken care of in the first place. Waivers are intentionally and explicitly giving up rights. So, an example of this would be signing a waiver for dangerous activity stating you won't sue if you get injured, right? So, if you go skydiving, which is one of those things on my bucket list, you have to sign obviously a paper before saying if your parachute doesn't open and you fall to your death, you can't sue. Family can't sue, right? And you sign that waiver knowing that you're taking that chance. Same kind of with going to concerts or other big events. When you buy a ticket, there's a waiver you're basically submitting to saying that, hey, if your picture's taken in this concert or there's a video taken of you, they can use that. You can't sue. And last but not least, we kind of went over this before, so this is a review. Statutes of limitations, right? So for contracts, it's 6 years. For torts, it's 2. Some states are different, but those are the common years. Some states allow more time for written versus verbal contracts. Again, it's always good anyway to get your contracts done in writing. And some states have sales of good breach that have to be started within 4 years. So if you buy something and it goes wrong, something happens, you have to um, start that process within 4 years instead of the 6. And that is it for today. Again, I hope you guys had a good break. Um, only 3 more weeks left in this trimester, so let's end it strong, guys. If you need anything, feel free to shoot me a Canvas message, remind message, email me. See me after class or before class. There's some of you guys with grades that are kind of on the fence. So if you want to figure out ways to get those up, talk to me and I'll help you. That's what I'm here for. All right. So I'll see you guys in class when you're here next. Have a great evening.